Welcome all to Walking the Weird. As always, I am Tyler, and with me is...
What's up, guys? It's Sean.
And we have a special guest today, my lovely fiance.
Hey, guys.
Your name is Kelly. Are you going to introduce yourself?
You just said, hey, guys. No name. Let's start off.
Hey,
What
guys.
is your name?
My name is Kelly.
Awesome.
What's
Thank
up?
you.
Yeah, so I guess Sean has a very fun case for us today. You know, Kelly wanted to kind of join in. She heard about it, and I have no idea what this is, so I want to learn. I'm curious.
Would not call it fun by any means of the
No?
imagination.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
not a
definitely
good
pretty
one?
Unfortunate.
yeah, it's
sure.
a shitty one. It's going to piss you off. So I
Oh.
can't wait for your reaction. But
So it's one of those.
for those people that are wondering, I am actually flying SkyCab today. So I'm actually pretty excited to be back here in the command post. It's pretty dope. Like it's comfy. Might be here more often. Anyway, case time. So, okay. I'm back. So on September 10th, 2017, Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old from Chicago, Illinois, was found dead inside a latched freezer of the Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Now, this case started off pretty weird. Obviously, she was a girl. She was 19, going on a party at the hotel. It was room 926, I believe. Let me make sure it was 926. It might be. It is. It's 926. The reason that the party is so relevant with this case is because of the fact that there are no parties allowed in this hotel. So this party should have never taken place. But unfortunately, it ended up with her being stuck in a freezer. There's a lot of issues in circulation of theories going on with what happened to her.
Was this like a room party?
It's a room party, yes. It's a
Okay.
room party.
So that is sweet and
Yeah.
Okay.
And a bunch of the friends like got together and like pitched in money, and then they invited other people and stuff like that.
okay.
Typically, hotels are strict no go for that. Most hotels, actually. I don't think I've ever found one that was like, yeah,
'cause
bro, tear this
what
shit
what
up.
do they? Yeah, they're just gonna get their room destroyed.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
too much of a liability
exactly.
to have something like that.
Now with hotels like this, specifically very populated hotels, there's a lot of like cameras, there's a lot of like angles and stuff like that. So even though Kenneka wasn't from this area, she knew a lot of people in this area, and she knew a lot of people who were going to this particular party at the time. Now, she didn't go alone. She went with a bunch of friends and everything like that who were also invited to this party. Her friends ended up leaving. Do you remember the reason why they ended up leaving? I can't remember if I got the reason why they ended up leaving. I think they ended up going for like a run, either more drinks or something like that, and they ended up leaving. And Kenneka was left there unattended with her friends, but she was there with the rest of the party. After her death and after her body was discovered, there was more video evidence of what occurred that night, but at the very beginning, it was very almost cryptic as to what happened. Like, they had initial rumors and initial things where people were like, hey, she was drinking a lot, she was doing this. It was all word of mouth at the very beginning. They weren't sure what really happened. And then the mom kind of called the police. They did an investigation, a preliminary investigation, but it was one of those things, and I know we've talked about cases like this where they're like, hey, bro, you need to wait like 24 to 48 hours. You need to wait this. And if they don't, even if the mom like pushes a little bit, they're like, all right, fine. Like, let's grab the stuff. Let's go find, like really feet dragging on the investigation. You know what I mean?
And to be fair with that kind of stuff, usually they're actually kind of right to do that.
Right.
Because, like, I guess a bunch of the time, like, it's nothing.
Yeah, statistically, it's like
they're-
73%. It's usually like nothing. It's
Yeah,
like
so they're
someone
like
walking around.
wasting resources, and so it's kind of understandable when they do that because it's like, well, they're a grown up. What do you want me to do?
Right.
Like,
right.
they're allowed to just leave. I know we've actually had episodes about this before where it's like, hey, they are adults. They're allowed to leave. Like, you can go missing if you want to.
Yeah, I mean it's something that everybody has a right to do. You can go missing if you want. Although, like I stated, because of the rumors, I feel like because of the rumors, they should have taken it a little bit more seriously. They should have been like, okay, cool. Hey, there's something going on here. Let's at least talk to the people And again, I don't really fault the police for that because 73%, that's a fucking good statistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother either. I'd be like, no, bro, like, just give her an hour or two. She's going to come back.
Yeah,
Whatever.
she's just gonna
Don't worry about
show
it.
up. They always do.
Right.
Yeah.
But after hearing the rumors of like, hey, you know, she was drinking too much. Maybe there was someone there that was nefarious or had priors or something like that. Like, I would have been like, all right, maybe let's take a look at it. Especially if they said, hey, there's a party going on in the suite and this person's now missing. I'd be like, wait the fuck a minute. There's a party going on in my hotel? Fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting this immediately. I'm cutting it and getting the police involved in everything because that is a liability, like Kelly mentioned earlier. I went like that and it pointed towards Tyler that way.
Welcome to my world.
I know, right? All a mirrored effect.
That's
Anyway,
why I don't point.
yeah. Thank you for the advice. No, but so basically, after the initial, like, not just the initial autopsy, but like the initial discovery of the body, like I said, there was a bunch of rumors going around, and then video footage leaked out from the cops, from the hotel, of her walking and being. Some people say she was being led to the freezer. Other people say that she was just walking aimlessly. Some people will acknowledge and say, hey, it looks like there's a person here that was maybe cut out of the frame or that was around the corner. And you can see him like kind of like you see certain shadows where if it wasn't for what our minds do where we create patterns, I'd totally be like, hey, there's someone there. But because we do that, there's no official, like you didn't see a guy with a hoodie or whatever. You saw maybe a shadow what could have been a hoodie or what could have been like a direction thing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And that's really convenient that they're just never shown. It's like, no, usually with that kind of stuff, you can clearly see like someone
clearly
coming
see.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's where this whole thing starts taking a twist, where they think that maybe it's the hotel trying to like alleviate liability, or it was someone who was connected who maybe shouldn't have been there at the time, who ended up luring her. Because if you look at the videos that I'm about to show you, I see their point, but if it wasn't for what the mind does, I'd be like, I'd be like, yeah, it's credible, but because of that, I'm like, I think we're reading too much into the pattern. But let me see if I can pull up these videos here. They're short, no audio is really needed, so I'm gonna put one on. Can you put me up there? Well, not me. I'm already here. But let's see if we can do that. Ooh, I have audio. I am so sorry, y'all. Let me turn off the audio. Didn't need that. So I don't know if you could tell. This is when they first get in there.
Mm.
That's her and her friends, and then this is her. Notice her gait and the way she's walking.
Yeah, she's clearly drunk.
Like she's intoxicated. Now, here's where people start doing that. I don't know if you could see to her right, I guess. There's like a little dark spot over there by the stairwell right in front.
Mm-hmm.
People think that could be a person standing there trying to like lure her in. There's also going to be another shot that they show where I'm going to point out again where they think that it's another person. But right there, again, I'm not sure if you could actually see it on her right-hand side at the very corner by the stairwell. You'll see it. And it's like a little dark area. You see that? And it kind of moves. So you get that. And then over here, it looks like it actually tells you what it is. That she was left that she let herself into the freezer. But again, there's a little movement back here and then movement up front from the shadow right by her feet in the front that leads people to think that there was someone there as well. Now, again, it looks legit. It looks like there could be something there. Like, you know what I mean? But again, we look for patterns. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can find another one. But I don't know if you saw that, but right as she walks away, if you look over at the sink, it looks like there's an additional movement. See?
Yeah.
You see that? And then here she's stumbling. She's clearly inebriated. And the thing is that some of the footage, it only shows certain angles of the footage. She's walking over there, and then it looks like there's someone like right there. So that's where they're getting that, and that's just one of the videos that was leaked out. There's a few other ones. I think it's this one. Hang on, let me see if I can turn off the audio on that one completely. I don't think I can. Can I? I think I can. But that was just, I'm sure it's a repeat. But yeah, that's the main video that they found. If you want to take it off, you can now. But that's the main video that they found. There's another one of the kitchen a little bit more clearly where it looks like there's someone on the other side of a glass pane right before the freezer. And they think that that's what happened. Now, I kind of looked into what was going on with the freezer. It appears it's just one of the generic brands that pretty much all kitchens use. I'm familiar with it. I worked in the kitchen. That mechanism has a mechanism that prevents it from locking. Obviously, you mentioned off air while we were talking about this case that those mechanisms break, and they do, and they break quite frequently.
Yeah.
I think you had a story. Do you want to share that story real quick on live?
I literally got stuck in one. I didn't know it was broken. So what happens is there's a latch on the outside of the door, and you pull it, and that's how you kind of pull the door open.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like horizontal, sometimes it's vertical. Either way, there might be a button, no button, doesn't really matter. You go in, do your thing. Well, on the other side, it's like a big, like it looks like a button, but it's not a button. It's like a big circle, and you push it in, and it unlocks the door for you. Like
Yeah, it
if
pops
that
it open.
mechanism breaks, you're not opening the door.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult
Yeah.
to get that door open
And
just that way.
it's a safety thing, so you can't really lock yourself in there. Like anything, it does break. It's rare. I got stuck in one. Luckily, it was in a grocery store, so the dairy
Dairy
coolers
freezer.
were like in
Yeah.
the front, so I just pulled one of the racks and moved it and got out. But they do have coolers where there's nothing else in there.
Yeah.
You're stuck in there.
Yeah, especially if you're like in one of these, because the cooler that she was in wasn't like in a convenience store or anything. It was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So those ones is just completely sealed
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
Food to the
Usually
ceiling.
one way in, one way out.
Right.
Kind
Absolutely.
Of thing. Yeah.
And it's and usually those are left latched with like a deadbolt because
Yeah.
people will come in
Yeah.
there and take food and do all that stuff. So they usually have deadbolt. Also, and no restaurant likes to admit it. Not saying that these particular people had it, but mice, there's other vermins that get in. So
Yep.
having that door initially latched with the
And
deadlock,
it's actually
creates a seal.
sealed.
Yeah.
Like, usually rubber or some kind of like foam.
Yeah.
So that the cold doesn't actually get out.
Right.
It's made to keep things in.
Yeah.
It's made to keep the cold in. I mean, good luck trying to get out of that. If it breaks,
Yeah, you're
like
pretty screwed if it
Yeah.
breaks.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed.
Now, looking into this case a little bit, it didn't really look like the mechanism was broken. Now, there was conflicting reports. Some people said that the mechanism wasn't broken. Some people said that the door wasn't even closed at all. Now, there's other reports that say that not only was it closed, it was latched with a deadbolt when she was found inside. So there's conflicting stories there, and with the conflicting stories, it almost seems to wonder like if it's deadbolt, then someone had to have been involved. You can't deadbolt yourself into a freezer
No.
like that. That's impossible.
yeah.
And if the mechanism was broken, that would have affected her getting in to begin with.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot more difficult.
If it's the kind of deadbolts I'm thinking of that I see when I'm working, it's not no little bike lock. It's
Yeah.
a serious
Yeah.
deadbolt. It's
And again,
it's
let's
thick.
say if it's not the deadbolt. Let's say if it wasn't the deadbolt, whatever, the mechanism was just broken. Some irresponsible kitchen hand just left it unlatched, unbarred, whatever, no deadbolt, left it open. But that mechanism itself being broken, when you go to open it, you have to pull the lock up and then drag it, especially if it's broken. You have to like drag it forcefully. You saw in the video, she can barely walk. Mm-hmm. How the fuck did she do that? You know what I mean? Like, how would you even begin to do that? Now, because also this case happened in the middle of the night. Like, I think she was discovered like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wasn't really. Sorry, it wasn't really like there wasn't a lot of officers. There wasn't a lot of things going on, and then it got weirder on October 6, 2017, when the Cook County medical examiner found that she had topiramate in her system. Now, topiramate, for those people who don't know, is an anticonvulsant. It's a very powerful anticonvulsant, and it has been off-used as a date rape drug. because it causes amnesia. It causes other symptoms that people, other side effects if taken with different things. Now, it is very clear
Especially
that,
with alcohol.
especially with alcohol. Thank you. That was the point I was about to bring up. She was seen in certain Snapchat videos that came out after the investigation where she was drinking a lot of cognac, a lot of different different dark drinks and light drinks
Yeah.
and all that
Do you
stuff.
happen to know if either that combination or the medication makes you overheat?
Um,
Well, it does heighten your senses. So it actually, in her case, it made it worse. It actually heightened and it made her more prone to hyperthermia.
with the
but-
constricting of the blood vessels and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
Yes.
I'm just asking because I mean,
Now,
Like,
I'm not sure if
if
that
you- if you-
exact combination would lead to overheating, like you're
but
saying.
but
I'm not
like if
sure.
you're drunk, I don't know about you, but when I'm drunk, I don't want to be like I want to be comfortable, not cold.
right.
Like maybe like, oh, she overheated. She's trying to get to the freezer.
I mean,
trying
think
to
about it. There's a
cool
lot of people
down,
in that
like,
room, so maybe you just naturally overheated. Because I mean,
Maybe.
even and I don't know if you guys have been to clubs, but even the bars that we've been to, Tyler, like if there's a lot of people in there,
It
you're
gets
like,
hot.
Oh yeah,
you're like, God
it's
damn.
a lot of body heat.
Yeah.
It's a lot of breath.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Just
why
think
would
about
you go
it.
to
Even
the
at your
freezer?
brother's show, when it was open and it was pretty cold in there, it was still like after a while, you're like, oh my God, it's kind of
Oh
hot.
yeah, and
I'm just trying to
dancing and
think of
there's
the
energy.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
just trying to think of the reason for the freezer.
Well, also, when you drink, your blood vessels they, they open up.
So you
then
have
your blood
counter effects.
rises to the
Yeah.
surface, so you in turn become hotter
Yeah.
when you drink.
That's what gives us the illusion. That's why people will say
Yeah.
who are in survival, oh, bring some alcohol with you to keep yourself warm.
Yeah.
It never does that.
Yeah,
That-
it's
you
actually
should never
it's
do that.
actually worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually why a lot of homeless people die
Mhm.
because they don't even realize how cold they are.
Because it's just the alcohol.
Yeah,
numbing
like
it.
they think they're warm, and
And you
like in
succumb.
New York City, I mean, yeah, those winters are freezing. So if they're drinking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why without the foul play,
Yeah.
why you would even go for
Right.
the freezer.
Right,
'Cause it
For a
doesn't
exactly.
make sense.
snack for ice cream.
Yeah, but that's down
That's the
floors.
only thing I
That's
can
Yeah.
think
down
of.
the
No,
floors,
you're gonna
man.
hit. You're
But
gonna
I
go do
mean,
something else.
That's a long way. I mean,
Yeah.
I would rather stop at the lobby where they have Haagen-Dazs and like one of those little cooler freezers.
Yeah,
And
but like not only that, like you're saying that as a coherent person, even and you're just like I wouldn't even go that far. Now, how are we to expect that this inebriated person, possibly on this drug, now that we know, and on alcohol, how did she make it all the way down there? If you're a sober person, you're like, man, I don't want to fucking go all the way down there. Imagine her. Why would she want to go all the way down there? Unless, like, that's where a lot of people are getting to this point where they think that someone led her to it. Which
and it's
yeah.
where's I just want to know where the footage of them is. I wonder if we're only getting part of the story and maybe the police have they have footage of the person, but they
Right.
don't know who it is. And
Right.
They haven't released that part, or they're still it's still hidden. Like they're still keeping it close so that they can find out who it is.
like the Delphi cases, yeah, definitely, dude,
Yeah.
definitely.
I just can't. I'm racking my brain. I don't see why someone that far gone
would go
would
down
go
that
that
floor.
far. They want to be comfortable.
It's 9 floors,
Like-
man.
Yeah.
It's 9 floors.
Yeah,
to
that's
get to
okay.
the-
I was gonna ask that.
9
How many
floors.
floors? That no,
Yeah.
no.
That's
I
deep.
want some wings and
Yeah, bro.
some sleep. Like I don't want.
Also, in hotels, there's vending
We're
machines.
doing that for dinner.
There's vending machines in every fucking
Yeah,
floor in hotels. What the fuck?
And if you're cold,
Yeah.
and why would your first instinct? You said it's 2017.
Yeah,
There's ice machines everywhere.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you get some ice? Why wouldn't if you're that warm, your first inclination is go to the freezer?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know why you would go there.
Now, later on from the investigation, we're gonna get back to that wing comment that you made. Wing comment that you made because you said you were gonna have that for dinner, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? But anyway, the point is, the Snapchat footage that came out later wasn't it's saved. I couldn't find it personally. I wasn't able
Yeah,
to find
good luck.
it. Yeah, right.
If
I wasn't able to find it, but The police released it. It showed on. I'm just not sure where to get it. But if you find it, hey, good luck. But it shows, from what I heard, it shows a lot of people. It shows her drinking a lot. And then, I don't know if it was by accident or on purpose, but you start hearing people saying some nefarious shit about her. Like, things that could be misconstrued as threatening.
Oh.
Where they're making comments about her. Oh, we're going to get her. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And you're like, if I didn't know better, if I was a betting man, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're like...
That they did it. They did what they said they were going to do.
Right. It would sound like that. It would sound like that to everybody. Now, because, you know, we live in the United States and police are restricted on certain things, just based on those words, there wasn't really much that they could do. Except maybe go talk to him, maybe go do that. But there was no additional evidence that happened. Now, ultimately, she was found, medical examiner, all that stuff, hypothermia, like she said. She was given this drug as well. There was litigation filed against the hotel at the end of it for not stopping the illegal party, or the illegal party that was going on, making them liable for her death. Now, not saying that the hotel had anything to do with it, but it makes them liable for her death. So they had to pay, what was it? It was a $50 million lawsuit against the hotel and other people that were there. What is it? Some people were on the Snapchat video that were also sued and all that stuff because she was clearly drunk on the Snapchat videos already, and people were giving her more. And if you've been in any bar, that's punishable. Even if you don't have a license, even if you're just a common civilian, if you know that person is not in the right state and you keep going,
oh yeah,
you're immediately liable for that. Oh yeah,
if they're like visibly inebriated, like they're slurring their words, they're like stumbling on the counter, can't even stand up.
Yeah, she was.
It's illegal to serve a guest like that.
I don't know how the hell she got down 9 floors.
Yeah, that's what baffles me.
Because I don't, because everything in me, anytime I've been that far gone, I don't want to walk around. I want to go to the couch.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I had
chill.
To like the rest of the 12 steps.
You don't want to. Yeah, you're done. You just want to hang out.
And I mean, I don't know if you had any experience, Kelly, where you're inebriated that bad. Do you want you don't want to move? You don't want to nothing,
no, you
right?
Just want to hang out.
I just want to eat.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I just want to eat and just talk BS and. Like Tyler said, just fall asleep.
Now,
you're not.
Yeah.
Now, look, we're all friends in all the productions that we've done with all the podcasts. We're friends. We even have friends that used to be on here that are not on here. A bunch of friends. We're all a tight knit group. We all like fucking with each other and making jokes and all that stuff and bullying each other. That's fine. But when you say shit like that on Snapchat, and they're supposed to be your friends, that gets into shiesty water. Like, I would never say that. Unless we were pulling a prank. But even if you're pulling a prank, that's not a prank anymore, man. They're clearly not there anymore, and that's not acceptable in any circumstances for friends, especially if you're friends. And I don't know. To me, what they didn't really mention in a lot of the articles, but there was a lot of testimony from it, was that some of the people that went with Kenneka directly, that group of girls that you saw at the very beginning of the video, one of them kept changing the story, and then a few of them started adding different details to the story. So
that does happen, but why would they all leave? It's like they knew, they meant to.
And there's a lot of people who think that they were the bait that they drew her in.
And who? How to explain?
Give it to me. Come on, give me all the questions.
Who are you? Why? Okay, so let's say, Sean, you've been drinking, right? And we have people over at the house. I'm not gonna leave you with them,
right?
You're the last. I'm like, no, I have to find someone who's sober because,
and especially
they're gonna throw a chair through a window,
and especially if you're in a place that you don't know anybody or
why
really
would you
know
do
where
that?
the people are. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
They should be held. Not maybe not liable, but some questions have to be asked. Like, why?
Right.
Like, you need to actually explain why.
And as a friend, you wouldn't leave me. I wouldn't leave you. I wouldn't leave Kelly. I wouldn't leave anybody just in a place where we don't know people. No, bro.
No.
We all stay together. Like we'll all go
No.
together.
And it'd be a lot more understandable if, let's say, she was sober when they left.
Right.
And by the time they got back, she's shit faced.
Right.
And they're like, what the hell happened? Or where is she? Like, what's going on?
Because that's different. If you're like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, don't worry, you're amongst trusted people
Yeah.
and you're sober, you're
She
within
got-
your 5 senses. We'll see you
She
in a
had
bit.
a drink.
Right.
All
But
right.
no,
Yeah.
by the time
Yeah.
that they left, she was going in on it, according to a lot of the testimony and a lot of the
That's-
Snapchat footage. She was going in on it. Now,
Why? You are asking for shit like this to happen.
Right.
Even if it's not nefarious, even if she legitimately just went down there by herself, you are asking for this to happen. That's the dumbest thing. That's one of the dumbest things you could do.
right. Now, here's another thing that was going on during all this as well. During all this, while they were doing the investigation, the hotel was supposedly checking the video footage, right? As you noticed, that was the video footage that I showed you, minus the one from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only from like 1 or 2 angles. There's like 8 angles from the hotel because they have
That's
cameras
what-
everywhere.
that's what I'm
they,
saying. Like,
they
where's the
testified
rest
that
of
they
it?
had all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the lobby? Like, where's her walking down the staircase
Why-
or the elevator?
Yeah. Why don't you have 9 floors worth of footage?
Yeah.
Or at least one
Yeah.
angle, but 9 floors
yeah.
worth of
That
stuff.
point
And
that
conveniently, sorry,
No,
there's,
go.
there's no camera in front of the walk-in freezer.
right, it's always off to the side. And
Mm-hmm.
then not only that, the good point that you just brought. Where's the footage of her in the elevator? Because that's one of the things. No one saw the footage in the elevator. They're like, what if there's someone in there? Because
Yeah.
you just saw there was only her that came out, and maybe like a little dark spot on the side, but she just came out. So, and then it flashed. We don't know if there was someone there waiting inside or anything like that, which is why they also, like, part of the lawsuit, that they failed to check the security records and all angles of the hotel cameras, because there was tons of cameras and the hotel was like, oh yeah, we have tons of cameras, we have tons of this. Well, that's fine, but it turns out like almost half of them were dead.
Yeah.
So you're advertising this sense of security that's not there.
Yeah.
That's where I can see why there's a lawsuit. That makes sense.
There's a
Because if it's
bigger
just
lawsuit,
like,
yeah.
oh, well, you didn't do
Absolutely.
enough. It's like, well, what really were they supposed to do?
Yeah.
Break up the party? All right. But everything else, like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
But if
Also, this
it's
was
like
under
the cameras
subpoena.
aren't real, like, that's, yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, they didn't say that they weren't real. The cameras were malfunctioning.
Yeah. They're
They're
malfunctioning.
We all remember Epstein. But that was the issue that was going on. That's why they were also like sued.
Yeah, I
Because-
mean that in itself is liability,
Yeah.
not being up to protocol
Right.
with your security.
especially if they were under code, like you just
Yeah.
mentioned. Like,
yeah,
And
that's breaking violation.
Yeah, it depends on
especially in
if they have to have that. Because if they have to have that, that's a big issue. If
Right.
they don't, and they're just advertising it, that's false advertising.
Well, yeah.
Like that's a problem too. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Kelly just said. That if it was like up to code, if it was up to like par with like the rules and regulations that they have to follow, like you cause a huge liability there.
Yeah, I mean, states are different, but nowadays, I mean, the more cameras, the better.
Yeah, dude. I mean, especially if you're in a public place like that, you're
Oh, yeah.
sleeping with a bunch of people that you don't know. There's tons
Yeah.
of weird shit
Well,
that happens in hotels.
do you guys think that there is someone on there?
I don't know if there was someone on the tapes,
Yeah,
but I know that for sure there's someone involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You?
It's tricky. I think there's something that got me is there was no sign of foul play, no
Yeah. No trauma, no
no
nothing.
abrasions or anything, but there was a small cut found on her toe. So I'm wondering if she stumbled in, she stubbed her toe, and she
Stubbed her
got
toe on a
knocked
pallet and-
out.
But wouldn't there be trauma?
Yeah, on her head.
I mean, there.
Or maybe she didn't.
I mean, I don't even think so because she was so inebriated with the concoction of alcohol and the medication she was taking, I mean, there's a really good chance she was out cold.
Yeah.
Once she hit that floor, like,
And it could have been that she
just crashed.
yeah,
got
maybe
too
she braced
tired.
herself and then she just passed out from
Yeah,
just all the
and
combination.
especially in the cold,
Yeah.
her body went into shock, and especially with that drug, how we were discussing before, how it heightens the effect.
And I was just
That's
thinking,
it's a good concoction for
To pretty
passing the
much
fuck
seal
out.
the deal.
well,
Yeah,
The only thing that I would say to counter that point, Kelly, about it being an accident for her is how is the 9 floors thing. That's the only thing that gets me.
that's the only thing.
It's the thing that fucks with me.
It's
The
so
9 floors.
it's like, how did she get down there?
If they
and
were on the bottom
why?
floor, if they were on the bottom
yeah,
floor,
if they're on
and
the
they went to
first
kitchen-
floor
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
kitchen's like
Yeah.
2 doors down,
Yeah.
like their little buffet, and she
Yeah.
went in the walk-in. Okay, yeah, I can see
Cool.
that. Like, all right,
Yeah.
well, that sucks. Like,
Yeah. Wrap it up. Like, there's
yeah.
nothing there. But 9 floors,
It's-
elevators.
I mean,
Yeah.
did she have headphones in? Like, was she on the phone? Like, did
I-
someone like
Bro.
lure her in? Like, you have to go down the
In-
stairs, and
She wasn't on the
You
phone because
know.
her hands were down. She was just like waving. Like
I mean, AirPod, but yeah,
2017. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had AirPods. They had AirPods.
I do want to bring up one thing that to give. Sometimes shit just does happen. Like maybe those people that were saying all that horrible stuff.
We're just pranking her. It was really harmless.
No,
Oh.
they meant to get her the drug and have someone, and it didn't work, or like something happened and they never got to do it, and she just somehow I know 9 floors, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, maybe that's what they wanted. They wanted to humiliate her. They wanted to like scar her, and then something else happened and it went way, I guess in their case, better than they could have hoped.
I mean, or maybe it was a combination of the two. Maybe it originally started off like that. The drug didn't take, and as she was stumbling out trying to get the fuck out of there, it hit her. And then when they realized, oh, it hit her, now we can go do something. And then they lured her.
Because they didn't find there was no rape kit done or anything.
Well, in the autopsy, they check everything, and no signs of rape, no signs of anything like that. Let me double check.
It just
No, the only other thing that they did find was the brain swelling, which is attributing to the fact that the hypothermia, also the mixture of the drugs that you pointed out, and then lesions found in her stomach, which from the drug, so that accounts for that. But no foul play was suspected, and nothing on a rape kit. Not that one wasn't conducted, just
okay.
that they didn't find anything.
So lesions on her stomach. So that would mean she would have to have that drug in her system at least for a little while.
And high dosage.
oh, for quite a while, yeah,
And
And
high dosage.
yeah.
that's interesting. That leads me just more to this is a tragic accident. Like there was nefarious things going on, but maybe that part wasn't the problem, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like her freezing to death wasn't their intention.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just leaning toward like this seems like a. How do I say it? I don't have a way to say it without sounding really mean. In their favor, like I'm leaning towards the other people that were there wanted to do her harm, but they meant to do it in a different way.
Yeah,
And
they were
it-
trying to rape her and they didn't get. Yeah, we
and
all
they
know what
didn't
you're
get
saying,
that.
bro.
And had it a happy accident. They still got what they wanted, but it didn't. It's the 9 floors thing. That's where
It's the
I'm
9 floors
stopping
thing.
in my head.
I
I'm like,
don't
that's a
think-
lot.
I think if they were going to sexually assault her, they would have done it as soon as the people left. Because you could have
And-
done that. Because
yeah.
you could have done that even if you didn't have the drug. But
See-
who cares? There's nobody here that knows
If-
you, bro. No one's gonna help you.
Yeah,
and there's
if-
like
if-
8 of us.
If she had been, then I'd be like, oh, that's why she went down there to try and like
Right, to escape.
escape. Like she wanted to be away
Yeah.
where they wouldn't find her, they
Yeah.
wouldn't
I
hurt her.
Tried to hide.
Yeah.
Right,
But it doesn't
exactly.
look like she was trying to hide, even from the videos we
Right.
saw. She was just like, it looked like she was just wandering around.
But there were, because people had that theory that she was bait. They think that there were, well, and again, this is just theories, and then based on some testimony, no exact concrete evidence. Like, hey, we know for sure. Like, this is just hearsay, where they were saying that there were conflicts with these people in and out of like school, in and out of work. That there was a lot of issues going on with them. It was kind of like, because she's barely like leaving high school, so a lot of that drama sticks around.
Yeah.
So maybe they weren't trying to like sexually assault her. Maybe they were really trying to get rid of her. I think that there could have been someone else involved. I just don't think that they caught the person on camera, or if they did, and the hotel. I don't think the hotel hid anything. I think the hotel was stupid and forgot to update their shit, and they got caught and they got punished for it. Sorry. So sad, too bad.
They somehow picked, they unknown, like, it's so much like
It's so
a
perfect.
convergence of, they picked the correct hotel to go to kill someone.
Right.
How would they know that half the
mean,
cameras? How would
that
they
would
get the
be-
right cameras to not work?
That would be premeditated.
You know what I mean?
That would have to be someone who used
Right.
to work
That's
there.
Or
that's
who knows there.
Or
yeah. That's
currently.
that. But to even get the camera angles right, to where you're not shown, that's practice.
And then
That's
again-
that's a lot. Like
then-
that's a
Oh,
to
yeah.
kill to kill some
Not
to
just that,
kill
how
a
would you know that
teenager
the-
at a party. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But not just that. How would you know that the freezer was going to be unlocked? Unless, again, like Kelly said, someone was involved and you paid them and said, hey, leave the freezer fucking unlocked. You know what I'm saying? We're about to this person.
The list of people that have to be involved to make this happen is like growing, like it to where no one said anything. No one.
Right. And
Like-
now here's the only thing that changes it. If those two things are coincidental, like the cameras and the freezer thing were coincidental. Some neglectful kitchen worker and some neglectful camera, which can be explained. It's like, hey, the hotel
is neglectful.
is neglectful.
Apparently, it's
Now, if both of those we consider it a neglect, you can do it with one person. Now you can do it with one person to lead her out.
But you have to still know the camera angles. You still have to know which cameras are off and which cameras are on.
Right. Which could be like, I mean, these people,
And
a
you
lot of
have
these-
to know that that whoever you're talking to at the hotel is not going to give them the right foot. Like,
Look,
it's a
bottom line-
lot. Like,
bottom line, the illegal party already involves someone from the hotel. Already. How did you get access to
Yeah.
that room? How did you get that many people access to that room? How did nobody say
Yeah.
anything? As if I'm in a hotel, and even though there's a lot of people coming in, if I see like a bunch of group of teenagers and they're going as they're walking by, I'm immediately stopping and going, wait a minute, hang on.
or they're doing the.
Yeah, there's either
Yeah.
a party, some shit's
Yeah,
gonna go down.
I'm gonna start
Yeah.
looking into this because, like, oh
Right.
shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start-
because what is going on here?
Right, exactly. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start sending more patrol down that hallway. What room are they in? You know,
And you didn't hear him.
yeah,
You didn't hear him.
yeah.
If
A
they're
party.
if they're all
Right.
drunk, if they all smell like alcohol.
part-
I mean, alcohol reeks.
Yes,
Homie, a party.
No,
Yes.
a party
Yes.
that was going on enough to where all her friends had to leave to go get more alcohol. You said, right?
Yeah, I
that mean-
believe there's no official one,
and-
but I believe that that's what it would be.
that have been going on long enough for her to not only get shit faced, but also have the party drug in her system.
Now,
And also walk down 9 flights of stairs or take the elevator.
see, it goes back to both ways to where
There's
it
no
doesn't-
way in hell she walked down the stairs.
There's no way.
Dude, she was running into walls.
There's
on
no
her
way she
own.
did it. So, there's no way she made it nine flights of
I
stairs on
mean,
her
then
own.
where's
at all.
the elevator video?
And
That's like what I'm thinking.
yeah,
How would you
it-
have
I
the
mean,
the
where's-
conscious brain of mind to hit the floor button, the first floor button, the lobby button, or whatever? Like, how would you?
and how
would you have
long
to-
was she stumbling around?
Yeah.
Was it 5 minutes? Did she, like you're saying, walk into the elevator? Floor 1, I'm gonna get some ice cream. That seems like,
Yeah.
all right.
So how many
we're going
floors
for
did
a
you
ride?
hit?
Like,
How many
yeah.
floors did you hit? And then why didn't you get off at any other floor? If you're inebriated, you don't know. If you're gonna get ice cream and you're just like, fuck
You
it,
do it at
ice
least.
cream.
You
Let's
get
go.
off on on the wrong floor at least
Yeah.
once.
And then do that stupid ass giggle where you're like, oh, I'm on the
fuck.
wrong.
Yeah.
And then you fucking go
You
back.
know, but then
Yeah.
you'd be like, because you're so blasted, you're gonna be like, is this fucking worth it? Like, because you're gonna probably forget what your goal was, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the fucking room. So you're telling me at no point did she do that?
Yeah.
That leans into what you guys are saying, where it's someone else was leading her, because you're gonna do that. Like, everyone does that. We're not all that different, especially when we're drinking. Like, you.
Yeah. Now, and also,
Yeah.
no one heard the party, like you said, but no one heard her stumbling. No one saw, in a crowded hotel, no one saw her get out of the elevator. No one saw her walking down the stairs. No one saw her nowhere.
I can attest to this. Like, we just got back from Vegas. We had a hotel room. You could hear when people were walking down the fucking hall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's loud.
yes,
fucking
it's not.
loud.
It's
There's
not
also
like someone's talking. You may not be able to make out exactly what they're saying, but you can tell someone is clearly talking. It's not TV.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, their phone. No, you can tell when it's someone's voice.
someone in the hallway.
And
Yeah.
as you guys saw
Yeah.
in the video, she stumbled into walls.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she didn't. Oh no, she was walking in the middle. No, she was running into shit.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
this is not
Yeah.
someone who knew where they were going. This is someone just like having to hold on to the wall, like,
And barely made it,
yeah,
if anything.
like.
Now, I like Kelly's idea, what she said about the whole AirPod thing. Because they didn't find anything, I'm not going to, like, directly correlate it. However, that's a very interesting fucking theory that if she was on the phone, still conscious, and then they realized something was happening, they're like, oh, bro, get her out of here. And then they just started calling her and, like, hey, bro, do this, do that, do that. And because...
Hey, come down with us
And-
to the
and-
first floor.
Yeah,
Let's
And
go
maybe
get something to
because-
eat.
And maybe
Yeah.
because she's so inebriated,
Yeah.
she didn't realize that maybe they were like, "Oh, it's your mom down here," everything, and she's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna go." And that could have been an interesting theory. They didn't find anything like that, but it's not to say that something like that couldn't have happened where they were hiding around the corner, kind of like, "Hey, come on, let's go. Like, we're gonna go see your
Yeah.
mom," and they would run away, and then so you couldn't see them, and that could be a possibility. There was a lot of things where a lot of these people changed their story a few times. They found out that some people did have associates who were like, who knew the doorman, who knew this, who knew that. It's like, so there could have been that.
It's just a lot.
It's a
That's
lot.
a lot
It
of
is.
people
Lot of shit.
that. Okay, if you're trying to kill someone, the whole how you get caught is telling other people,
Yeah.
or even telling little parts of it to other people. Even one person knowing is too much.
Is a lot. Yeah.
Is way too much. Like, one person knowing even a fraction of what's going on is too much, because that person's, even if they could hate the police, the second they find out that she died, even if they hate her, they are going to tell the police, because they're like, hey, I ain't a part of this shit.
Now, because it's Chicago, a lot of people are thinking that maybe it was gang related. Now, fear is a great way to silence a lot of people very quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gangs out there, I mean, not to put a label on Chicago, but a lot of the gangs out there are pretty vicious, and they're pretty big, and they're pretty popular out there, especially in this place where it's like literally in downtown Chicago. I mean, you're getting into
why-
dicey ass areas.
But why would you why would you kill her?
That's the thing. Because of a possible feud from their high school, it could have upset the gang. It could have upset someone in the gang, and they were like, "Yeah, no, she's gonna die." Dude, people people like this kill for no reason, bro.
I know,
like,
but
no reason
it just
at all.
seems like a lot to do to get.
It
Why
does.
wouldn't you just shoot her then at the party? Do it in front of people, make them scared, like you're saying. But like, just I don't know. It just seems like so much effort for
Well-
so little gain.
That's actually what we were talking about off camera before, is different kinks actually with murderers. Actually, some of them have a preferred
Preferences.
method of violence.
Right. And I mean, and maybe even if it's not a preferred method of violence, maybe this guy was just like, even though it's fear, everyone's gonna know that I did it. But if I do it blatantly in front of someone, one of the people is going to tell the truth. But if I do it over here low key,
they'll know the Iceman.
they'll still know who did it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But no one can actually point the finger and be like, you did it. It's like, prove it, bro. I mean, it's a lot of things that happen there. You're coming up, you're killing me with these ideas, bro. They're like, I'm over here like, that's a fucking good one.
I'm sorry. I just
not just you, Kelly too.
I just it's just
just
a
like,
lot.
son of a
It's just
bitch.
so much because everyone's like, oh yeah, no, she was murdered. I'm like,
I'm still stuck on that AirPod thing. That AirPod thing threw
Yeah,
me for Googling.
yeah.
I had to look back. I was like, did they find anything?
I hope there's just we're missing chunks of the story.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
with her. Like everything in this case, like all the cases I've brought you, half the story.
No. I'm
rest
saying
of the half is hers.
like deliberately the cops haven't released all of it, and I bet you. Not I bet you. I wonder if they did, and you'd be like, oh,
Got it.
okay, so you guys only gave us part for this reason.
And
okay.
I keep referencing the Delphi case, but the Delphi case is one that comes up when people tell me, hey, all the police are holding something against the public, they should release it. It's like, no, because it might be useless. It might be one of those things where it's like, bro, that's useless, and like it just causes anxiety and uncomfortable feelings. Why would we release that? And they released, I don't know if you heard about it, they released the footage for the Delphi murders, the one that was attached to the famous audio down the hill.
I think I heard about this. Yeah,
They released it, bro. It is fucking terrifying. It is to be those two little girls. It is fucking terrifying.
Yep.
And they released it, but it was like one of those things where nothing really happened. It just, the guy approached them, and one of the girls, she kind of doesn't realize what's going on yet, and she sees her friend panicking that picks up the Snapchat, or that picks up her phone to do Snapchat, and she's like kind of like has her arms up in the air, and then you see the guy just in the background looming, and then all of a sudden you hear the rustling, and then you hear it down the hill, and they're like complying and walking with them, and then it goes dark, and that's when presumably they killed them, which is horrible. But
That's
when people were
terrible.
mad that they hadn't released the footage, I'm like, that footage, now that I saw it, I was like, helps nobody. You did nothing with that footage. It does nothing but
you
cause.
probably just hurt the families.
Yeah, it just hurts the family and it causes anxiety. I watched that and I put it down and I was like, oh my God. Like, I watched some fucked up shit. And to see that made me uncomfortable to be like, oh, imagine being those two girls in that moment. So it's possible that in this case, they have footage like that, and it's like, why are we going to show you if it's just going to bother you?
They have, an angle literally of a guy they can't tell who it is. Well, what is that going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, now it's not it's not, it's not.
It's like,
a
cool,
weird
that's
story.
great.
It's like,
Someone's involved. Who's involved?
who
Do you
is
know?
that?
No? Okay.
No one's talking. It's been all this time.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Did this help? Because they do that in a lot of cases where they will actually release it because they're trying to find who it is. Well, maybe they know, or maybe they know exactly who it is, and they have nothing. Like, they have no evidence to pin them to this.
And like Kelly was mentioning earlier about her lesion on her toe, and I thought about it immediately when you brought it up because, again, like I'm telling you, you're bringing up some
the
fucking
cut
shit.
on the toe.
Not just the cut on the toe, but she's bringing up some shit where she's like, I'm surprised that there wasn't any cameras facing the walk-in. I was like, yeah, there's always cameras facing the walk-in. Like, what the fuck?
Actually, not true.
Really? In any
I know-
kitchen I've been in, there's cameras facing
I've
the
known
walk-in.
some places they'll have, if there's two or three freezers, they'll have it on like two of them. It's so I think that's more of the neglect thing. Like, they used to have the camera, you can see the little holes in on like the mount for it,
But they took it off.
but it's long. It's years gone.
Now the thing that gets me, about that is that maybe that there is some footage of the freezer, but what if it's the footage of her trying to get out of the freezer, and she's just stomping, and you can hear it, and maybe even see something through it? Like,
It's
no
bad.
one needs to see that. Like,
Yeah, there's no,
there's no need for that. That doesn't help with the murder. That
because
doesn't help with
they do
anything.
actually have some cameras now that are actually in the freezers.
Oh, in the freezers? Mm-hmm. I wonder.
It's actually really rare because the cold and the wet, it destroys the cameras.
Yeah, I'm sure it
It-
degrades them to the
I
fullest
think
degree.
it not just fogs the lenses, it fucks with them. Like if it like
It
starts
builds up the
getting
moisture
hotter,
on the inside.
not just that, it'll crack them.
Oh shit! I didn't know
So I think that's why we never had them for a really long time. I think now the technology is good enough. They have
Like tempered glass and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so they could actually have them in there.
Yeah.
But if they did, and one of the angles you showed is in the kitchen on the angle, and she's like walking to the freezer.
that. Yeah, she's walking around the
She's
corner to
yeah,
the freezer.
she's walking right.
Yeah.
That's the sink, yeah.
Why is that the camera you have?
Right.
You have one working camera in
In
the
the whole
in
sink.
the kitchen.
Yeah. Facing the sink.
So, but why would you have one if you have a limited supply of working cameras? You'd put it in the employee areas.
To keep them safe.
Technically,
No, for liability.
And,
Yeah.
Yes, liability for safety and theft.
yeah, I was about to say
'Cause
theft, bro.
People are going in there and
You
stealing,
wouldn't-
like these big ass roast hams. So can't say.
Oh,
no
I'm
about
sorry.
it.
I was stealing a lot of like ceviche and a lot of other dishes I made. I was like, I fucking made this. This is mine. But like, no, theft is a big thing. Like seriously.
Yeah,
like,
but that's what I mean.
I've
Why
never been
wouldn't
in a
you-
kitchen where they had one camera. Like that's the thing. I've
No.
Every kitchen I've been in has like 5 or 6 cameras facing at the manager, facing at the kitchen, facing at the line, facing at the back.
I
Everywhere.
know a store. No joke. I think it's an older one. That's why they have it. They have a camera in the manager's office over them looking at their computer screen.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
that's
it's
also
no
for counting.
joke, yeah.
That's also for counting. My boss
Yeah.
used to have one right above
Yeah.
her, and she would count the money like that. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I have to show the camera." I'm like, "Y'all are Nazis, bro." But I
Yep.
get it.
It's why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So apparently, according to what we're just saying, this hotel has numerous amounts of infractions already. So God knows what else, what
the
other
freezer
cameras
works.
were missed. Yeah. Or anything. Maybe that mechanism was broke, and the kitchen staff told them a long time ago, "Hey, bro, it's fucking busted. What do we do?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll get to it." And
That's-
then this happened.
That's also convenient if it is broken. Do they have records of it being broken? So it broke on it happened to break on the day
If it
when
was broken,
when a dead girl.
right? But what about the rumor that it was locked with a padlock?
Where's the employees? Especially in 2017, a lot of those places were 24 hours.
Not this place. This place does close.
No.
Yeah, this place does close. It wasn't handling the room service orders. This is just a restaurant one.
Oh,
This is just a restaurant.
okay. So that's why there's only one freezer.
Well, not necessarily, because there could be multiple ones. The thing is that they explained that that's why there was nobody in the kitchen, because it was closing
So
time.
none of the freezers, like Kelly was saying, outside the doors had cameras. You happen to know the one that didn't, or do the other ones have it?
It said that there was no cameras facing the freezer.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much that camera that was facing the sink where you could see her walking in towards
the only camera that they
corridor
said.
was the only.
That is a horrible place for a camera, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
would have
worst place.
multiple
There's a huge pillar in the way.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah. Yeah, it has blind angles everywhere. And
behind that pillar is the manager's office, where I'm assuming the cash registers are, where all the cash is and everything that they're keeping. So
Yeah.
that's a bad fucking camera angle.
yeah.
I didn't even know that was the only camera. That's fucking crazy.
That's
That makes it even
stupid.
worse.
Yeah, that's just dumb. Like,
Yeah.
Now, if they're that neglectful, then the person didn't really need to guess. They just fucking went and they got lucky. enough.
yeah, they just assumed they were all broken.
I mean, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you assume that? If everyone's telling you, hey, none of this shit works, like, all right, cool.
I've been in plenty of places where they're like, oh yeah, no, it's like they'll have a device or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, it's plugged in, it's fine. I'm like, the cord's not plugged in the wall.
There's nothing there.
Like, it's not. There's nothing attached to the power.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Like, so who knows? Maybe that was it. Maybe they just unplugged them.
And maybe she did just wander in there. Maybe she did stub her toe, fell
Mm.
in there, and it was all innocent. And those people were like, hey, where did Kenneka go? Like,
Do you think
where'd she go?
it was cold enough in there let's say she wasn't drunk and didn't have that date
In a
rape
walk-in
drug
freezer?
in her system, do you think it was cold enough for her to die in there?
So let me
Because
tell
she
you
had that
something.
jacket on. She had jeans. Like,
So let me tell you something about a walk-in freezer. I used to do my inventory there, and along a lot of the part of the things that we would do, me and my chef, we would argue in there. The reason we would argue in there is because it is impossible.
it's soundproof.
Not just that. No, fuck the soundproof. It's impossible to get mad there. It's
'Cause it's
impossible to
so
get mad in
cold.
there. It's so fucking cold that after like 30 seconds, you're like, bro, just shut the fuck up and let me get
Oh,
out of
yeah.
here so we don't have to be here.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Our arguments were like a minute, maybe two.
I late at night, I'll go into the walk-in one where they have all like the ice
Yeah.
for like the front of the stores.
Yeah.
I'll go in there to wake myself up
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
so cold.
Oh, and it'll do it.
Yeah.
It'll do it. It'll fucking,
Usually-
it'll
Cold
fuck
as
you
shit.
up.
Yeah,
I just
usually
wanted to
around
see what-
28 degrees.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
I was about to say that 20 to like
28
30.
But do you
degrees,
think she could have
32, yeah.
survived that long?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
Okay. I'm
You-
just trying to figure. I'm like,
You'd be dead. You'd be dead probably within 5 to 10 minutes at like long, like lasting. Like that means that you lasted quite some time. But typically, at just being in there with a coat, like, and we used to have these really big puffy coats that we'd have to walk in there in order to do the inventory. Even with that, you'd have to take
It's
breaks
still
every like 2
freaking
3
cold,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to take breaks 2 3 minutes because you start like shaking uncontrollably. You have to like walk out. They never recommend you to do inventory alone in there. They always tell you, hey, bring someone with you, just in case that you can't respond out there. It might not kill you, but it'll take you a while before someone really notices that you're gone in the kitchen.
And just
like
in
that.
case
Yep.
you might stub your toe and pass out.
And pass
so.
out. And go out the old Jenkins way. I'm sorry, that was fucked up.
I literally
Rest in peace,
just
girl.
just for my like work wise, literally I see the Frozen guys all the time, and they walk out and they're just like, they look like they've been walking in the Arctic, like just their faces are like gaunt.
Just like frozen snot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just that, like there's even people like even when I was a kid, my dad used to go into the freezer because he used to do stocking and stuff like that, and even in those big freezers where they had the ice and all the really cold stuff, and there would be people that would walk out and they had like scratches all over their face
because of the cold. It
yeah,
would
because of
split
the
their
cold
skin.
and the ice,
Yeah.
and just
Yep.
cutting them, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shit's brutal. But anyway, that's the case. It sucked. Like obviously she wasn't missing for long, but it wasn't the greatest circumstances. They sued the hotel. All that happened, and not the happiest of endings, but an ending.
Well, do you think they're actually gonna figure this one out, or is it just gonna be, oh well?
I'd say it's a pretty cold case.
That was horrible. That was the worst thing you could possibly have said. You had
That's-
many options. That was worst.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yep. Yep.
But ultimately, I'm very sorry for my
Oh, here
my
we go.
condolences
Yep.
to the friends and
Yeah.
family of Kenneka.
Yeah.
Truly.
But do you think they're gonna be able to
No.
get justice?
no.
No.
I'm not. I don't think so.
Unfortunately, like thousands of cases out there, there's just sometimes there's an ending that's undiscoverable.
Most murder cases or kidnapping cases or missing cases, whatever,
Yeah.
go unsolved and the ones that get solved are like only 47%.
Yeah,
So it's not even that much.
but that's the lore of it all. It just makes you want to keep diving into it.
I'm not even gonna go on the radical UFO theories of this one. We're not even gonna touch that. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna tell you how they thought Bigfoot was related to this. We're just gonna skip over that and just go straight
Nope.
to the ending of this episode.
No. Well, all right, guys. I've been Tyler, and as with me as always,
I've been Sean.
and our
Sometimes.
lovely guest.
Kelly.
There you go. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Take care.